Good morning, children. Welcome to the today's class. So, in last class we discussed about the different periodic tables according to the different laws also. So, so today we are discussing about the modern periodic law, which was discovered by H.J. Moseley. And in this modern periodic table was totally depends upon the number of atoms. So actually here number of atoms means the atomic number, that is nothing but the number of electrons. So how many number of electrons will be there in each atom, according to that here we are classified all the elements. That should be nothing but the modern periodic table what we are seeing on this screen. Okay, so this is a modern periodic table, children. So in this modern periodic table here you can able to see totally 18 18 groups are there and 7 periods are there. Okay, so in this 18 groups already in last class we discussed. Okay, so today we are going to discuss about the periods in the modern periodic table. In the screen you can see, children, here totally 7 horizontal rows are there. These 7 horizontal rows will be called as the periods only. Okay, so these periods are represented by Arabic numerals from 1 to 7. Okay, these 7 are called as the 7 periods in the modern periodic table. Okay, so the number of main shells. So how many number of main shells will be present in each atom, that should be in each element, decides to which period should be element belongs to. Okay, means in each one element how many number of main shells are there. In each one main shell, how many number of main shells will be there. Main shells means first we have to know about its electronic configuration. Okay, we already know how to write the electronic configuration. For example, if you take the hydrogen, how to write the electronic configuration for this hydrogen. Here in the hydrogen we have only one electron. Okay, so that one electron should be always there in first main shell, and in the first main shell it should goes to first subshell only. That should be nothing but the S subshell. Okay, so we can write the configuration of electronic configuration of hydrogen as 1s1. Okay, 1s1. So here in this 1s1, 1 should be always shows the main shell. Okay, and S is nothing but the subshell of the main shell, and again we are writing the subscription as 1. That should be nothing but the number of electrons present in the hydrogen. So here, and in the same here you see helium. Okay, in the helium here we have 2 electrons. So the electronic configuration of helium we are writing as 1s2. So 1 means again it belongs to one main shell, and S means again subshell S, and 2 means the subscription we are writing as the 2. So that 2 means nothing but the number of 2 electrons are there in the helium. So that's why here we are writing the helium as 1s2. Okay, so here 1s1, 1s2, 1s1, 1s2. Okay, so this 1 means nothing but the main shell. Okay, so these 2 electrons will be belongings to first main shell, means these 2 electrons will be considered in the first period. Here you see, children, hydrogen and helium, these 2 will be belongs to first main shell. So these 2 will be present in first period. Okay, so how many number of, so according to the number of main shells only, these electrons or these atoms will be, these elements will be present in each one period. Okay, for example, if you take the second period, so in the second period you can see lithium, beryllium, and here you see boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, and neon. Okay, so here these 8 electrons. So in the second period here we have 8 electrons, and that too these 8 electrons will be present in second period. How these will be present? Why these 8 electrons only present in the second main shell means, here you see, so in the second main shell, for example, if you take the lithium, so lithium, what is the electronic configuration of lithium here? 1s2, 2s1, 1s2, 2s1, according to 3 electrons present in lithium. Okay, so 1s1, 1s2, 2s1. Okay, so here belongs to second main shell. So that's why it was placed in the second period. So like that, according to the main shell. According to the main shell, the elements present in which main shell, according to that only here we have to observe these all the elements will be present in each one period. Okay, so here you see the second period starts with the second main shell L, and L shell has two subshells again, namely 2s and 2p. 2s and 2p each. So in 2p shell here we have totally 6 electrons, and in 2s we have 2 electrons. 2p, in the 2p shell we have 6 electrons, okay, and in the 2s shell we have 2 electrons. Total in the second period here we can able to see 8 electrons will be present in the second main shell. Means in the second period here we have totally 8 electrons, okay, and like that in the third period we will see. Okay, so third period will starts with the sodium Na. Okay, so this period starts with the third main shell M. Okay, so the third period will starts with the third main shell M. This shell has 3 subshells again. Okay, so what are those 3 subshells? 3s, 3p and again 3d. 3s, 3p and 3d. But according to our molar chart, we already learned in the previous chapter. So after the 3p, first the electrons will be placed in 3s, after 3p, after the 3p it should not goes to 3d, but it enters, the next electron will enters into the 4s shell. Okay, so why it was happened we already know, because when compared to the energy levels of 3d and 4s has less energy level when compared to the 3d, so that's why all electrons will be always goes to the lower energy levels first. Okay, after then only it will enters to the next energy level. That's why 3s, 3p, 4s and 3d. Okay, so like that again in the third main shell here we have 3s, 3p and 4s shells are there. Okay, so according to this one totally again here we have in the third main shell also 8 electrons will be present. Okay, and in this 8 electrons 2 will be s block elements and remaining 6 are the p block elements. Okay, next when coming to the fourth period, the fourth period will starts with the main shell N, K L M N. So the fourth main shell is N. Okay, so this shell has 4 subshells, namely 4s, 4p, 4d and 4f. 4s, 4p, 4d and 4f. But while electrons are being filled into the shells, first the electrons will be enters into 4s after 3d. Okay, so 4s, 3d, 4p, 4f. Okay, so like this the electrons will be enters. So totally here we have 18 elements are there in the fourth main shell. Okay, from here you see children, from potassium, fourth period you can see from potassium to here you see totally krypton. So from here, from potassium to krypton, total here we have 18 electrons. Okay, and here you see these 18 electrons will be present according to the, so 4s, 3d, 4d and 4f electrons. Totally 8 electrons will be present in the fourth period. Okay, so here you see there are 32 elements will be present in the sixth period also. Okay, so for example here you see in the fifth period also here we have same 18 electrons only like in fourth period, and when coming to the sixth period you see from there are 32 elements. Okay, so sixth period here you see children from cesium to last electron 86 radon. Okay, but in between here we have some other elements also will be present bottom of this table, those will be called as the lanthanoids. Okay, here you see children, so sixth period you can see cesium 55, barium 56 and 57 is there, but when coming to this one after the 57 here we have 72, but remaining in between the remaining elements will be there under the table. Here you see cesium 58, from 58 to again 71 here we have. Okay, and remaining elements again here in the here we have in the same table. Okay, so totally here we have 32 elements will be present in the sixth period. Okay, so in the sixth period again here we have some s block elements are there and p block elements will be there, f block elements are there, d block elements also there. Okay, so these in this sixth table some f block elements will be there. These s block elements will be called as the lanthanoids. Okay, F block elements are called as the lanthanoids. So here you can see in the picture lanthanoids from cesium to last one lithium. Okay, so these will be called as the lanthanoids, children. Okay, and again when coming to the seventh period, seventh period you can see in the picture from francium to noble gases. Okay, some noble gases also there, and here we have in between again here we have some actinoids also there. Okay, so seventh period is incomplete. Here we have some incomplete places also there. Okay, so seventh period is incomplete and contains 2 elements from S block and 14 elements from F block and 10 elements from D block and some elements from P block. Okay, so these total 5F elements are called as the actinoids, 4F elements are called as the lanthanoids, and 5F elements are called as the actinoids. They are from, here you see children, thorium 90, atomic number will be 90, from here to lanthanum 103. So these will be called as the thorium to lanthanum, these will be called as the actinoids. Okay, so the F block elements known as the lanthanoids and actinoids are shown separately at the bottom of the periodic table. So here lanthanoids and actinoids both will be considered under the 4F block elements only. Okay, so these will be separately shown. Why? Because these will be some alkali earth metals also. Okay, so why? Because these will be very rare metals which we are not able to see from the from directly from the earth. Okay, so these will be 4F and 5F block elements. Okay, so this is about the periods, children. So in the modern periodic table total we have 7 periods. Okay, so in each period the elements will be present in which period means that should be belongs to, means mainly depends upon the main shell. The element will be started with which main shell, according to that one only all the periods will be filled by the elements. Okay, so this is about the modern periodic table, children. So today after these periods, here we are going to know about some metals and non-metals also. So what are the metals and what are the non-metals also, here we have to know. Okay, so here you see children metals and non-metals. So here we have already learned some properties of the metals. Okay, so metals means here you see the elements with 3 or less electrons in the outer shell are considered to be metals. So the elements which have the outermost shell electrons will be 3 or less than 3. Okay, so if the valence number of electrons will be 3 or less than 3, those will be considered as the metals, and the elements which have the valence electrons as more than 5 will be considered as the non-metals, So the elements which have exactly the number of valence electrons as 4 will be considered as the metalloids or semi-metals. Okay, so these are the metals and non-metals. Here you see children, the elements with 3 or less electrons in the outer shell are considered to be metals, and those 5 or more electrons in the outer shell are considered to be non-metals. We may find some exceptions to the D block elements are metals, and they are also known as the transition metals. Okay, and the metallic character of D block elements decreases gradually. Again, in these metals also some D block elements have some special features. What are the special features means they are also known as the transition elements. Why? Because their metallic character will be decreases gradually from left to right in periodic table. Okay, and lanthanoids and actinoids actually belong to third group only, which is within the transition metals, hence they are called the in transition metals only. Why? Because they will be showing separately in the modern periodic table. And here you see metalloids are semi-metals, exactly they have the electronic configuration, means the number of valence electrons as 4 only. Okay, so the elements which have the valence electrons as 3 or less than 3, for example 1, 2, 3, these will be coming under metals. More than 5 means those will be non-metals. In between 3 to 5 means exactly 4, that should be coming under metalloids are semi-metals, okay, are elements which have the properties that are intermediate between the properties of metals and non-metals. They possess properties like metals but brittle like non-metals. So sometimes they will show the properties of metals and sometimes they will show the properties of non-metals also. They are generally semiconductors. This will be called as the semiconductors. Examples: barium, silicon, germanium. These will be, okay. All elements in S block are metals, whereas in P block there are metals and non-metals and metalloids also. So if you observe in the modern periodic table, all the S block elements will be coming under metals only, okay. But in the P block elements, some metals are there, non-metals are there, and semi-metals also there, okay. In periodic table you will notice a staircase. So here in the periodic table you can see, children, here we have some staircase, means some specially shows the elements in different colors, okay. So these will be nothing but the some staircase we can see in the modern periodic table, okay. So here you see the elements to the left of this demarcation are metals and to the right are non-metals, okay. So the elements on staircase very near to it like beryllium, silicon, helium and germanium etc. are metalloids, okay. So in the periodic table you will notice this staircase. Here you see, children, this staircase like a demarcation, means some separately marked, okay. So the elements to the left of this demarcation, left, so the left elements, remaining all the left elements will be the non-metals, and the elements on the staircase very near to this one are the metalloids. So the elements which are showing in this staircase are the metalloids, okay, and the elements which are very near to this one are nothing but the non-metals, and the remaining all the metals will be metals only. All the elements will be metals. So the elements which are showing separately in the as in the staircase, those will be semi-metals, okay. So the elements which are very near to the staircase are non-metals, okay, and remaining all the elements will be coming under metals only, okay. So these are about the metals and non-metals, and the properties of these all the metals and non-metals will go for the next class, children. Means their properties means what about their atomic radius, atomic weight, okay. These all things we will learn in the next class. Thank you.